When I was a little kid, I had a stutter. Could hardly get words out. It was really actually quite debilitating. I had to see a speech therapist until almost the 6th grade. But I remember something the speech therapist told me in like the 2nd grade. And she said, think of yourself as the most confident person in the room. And you can walk up and talk to anybody. And I remember thinking, how the hell am I supposed to do that? I'm not the most confident person in the room. And I think because it was pointed out to me so early why I was having this inability to speak or how my brain was controlling my lips or my words. From that point on, I was always really intrigued with professional athletes. Or how did they do it? Did any of them have stutters? Did they just pretend they were the most confident person, or were they? I had the opportunity a few weeks back to sit down with Troy Kelly. In 2012 came this close to winning on the PGA Tour. He hadn't been in this position before. He'd been competing since he was a little kid. He knew what competition was about. He competed for an NCAA title. But until you're actually in the moment on Sunday, you never know how your body's going to react. Troy was no stranger to competition. He was one of the youngest players to win a WJGA golf event in Washington State. He'd performed at a high level in every stage of his career. But now he's at the big one. Now it's Sunday. You find yourself leading. Can you perform? Are you going to start making bogeys? Are you going to crumble? What are you going to think about? These are the kind of questions I tried to ask. Whether you're dealing with golf, your profession, you're a lawyer, whatever it is. When it comes time to perform, are you prepared? What happened that day has only happened one other time in the history of the PGA Tour. Enjoy. So the Greenbrier, would you consider that to be like the closest you got to, a significant win?
Yeah, because it was my best finish by a long shot, biggest check I ever made. But it was the first time I had actually, got myself into a final group with, where I knew I was going to have cameras and there was going to be people talking about it, people being able to watch.
The final round of the Greenbrier Classic is underway, and what a Cinderella story we have for you. Troy Kelly, 33-year-old from the state of Washington, off of 62 yesterday, is still firing at the flagstick.
From my hometown. I mean,
I knew all eyes were going to be on you that Sunday.
All eyes were going to be on me.
This was for birdie at the 4th after that beautiful approach. He's playing with U.S. Open champion Webb Simpson, who had the overnight lead by 2 shots. But at the 5th, Kelly for the outright lead. His 3rd birdie of the day drops. And Troy Kelly, ranked 464th in the world, has overtaken the U.S. Open champion Webb Simpson as the final round is underway.
I wasn't leading. I was leading after my round, but at day's end, I was not in the lead, which I don't think that took the pressure off me because I knew that I was in a place I'd never been again.
Right.
And like we've talked about earlier about the stages that you go through, and that was another stage that I'd always wanted to get there and test it out.
See what it feels like.
I'd never played myself into that position. The Web Tour, you're out there, there's cameras, but they don't have it live. And like when I was playing, there was coverage, but usually it was tape delayed. And if you were playing well, you were going to probably get on camera. And so I'm sure I got some coverage out there, but to be going down the fairway and having a guy move behind you and put the camera on you while you're playing and knowing that there's someone actually watching that go on live away from where you were was a totally new thing for me.
How did you prepare yourself for that? Did you know that going into? Did you and Ryan talk about it the night before at all? Did you just
I prepared myself, but we only had from the 3rd round to the 4th. You get back and you talk about it, but it's not something you want to sit there and go, hey, we're too nervous to do this. It's like, hey, we're in a good spot. Try to talk positive. Golf, you're always trying to stay in the positive, and think in a positive way. But yeah, I did not have much time to prepare for it. I did have other times where I said, okay, I've played in front of people, and that's what it is. It's just an added camera. That's what I tried to tell myself. But there was the failures that would come along with it being live and having all of that emotion and things that were, you're thinking about people and your family and friends that are watching, because you're getting texts left and right. Hey, great job. Can't wait to watch you tomorrow. So you knew that everything just got elevated again, and
does it make like the emotion, I mean, everybody I think knows the feeling. Like, I think the first time I really felt it was when I had to hit a tee shot with like 50 people on the tee. I was like 12.
Sure.
And you just feel your heartbeat in your ears kind of, and just a different kind of body. Like, is that the same kind of just emotion you're just trying to push down and breathe off? Even,
the emotion's the same. It's just that the heart rate gets elevated, the breathing comes in and trying to breathe and lower your heart rate. And it was like you got kicked back down 5 stages from where you were. You were comfortable playing where you're at, and now you take me out of that comfort zone where I don't have all the cameras on me. Yes, there's cameras out there, but they're not live.
Right.
And now you kick it up again, right? And then it's back to the heart pumping, all those things come into play. And like I said, it just feels like you got kicked back down those old feelings, and you have to go back and understand that that's part of it. Everybody's nervous, and I think that when I made a par on the first hole. It wasn't great. I hit it to the back of the green. I hit a good 9-iron over for my second shot. I just missed the fairway. Hit a 9-iron just over the green onto the fringe. It stayed on where I could actually putt it. I putted up there to about 2 feet, and I was able to make that for par. 2, I think I hit the fairway. I think I hit a 7-iron in there about 18 feet, and I made that putt.
That was probably big.
And that was a little settling. I wasn't completely relaxed at that point, because then I was like, oh my God, I'm almost in the lead, So it was still heightened, and then the third hole's a great par 3. I think I just missed the green. I was only about 18 feet from the pin when I missed the green, but it was in the rough. And the rough on tour is obviously thick, and you kind of got to make some big swings at balls that are not going to go very far, and you're just kind of chunking them out, poofing them out.
Right.
And I think I hit it about 7 feet. I wasn't super disappointed with the shot. I was just like, okay, now I got to make a putt.
Oh.
And then I buried that. So that was big, and then that kind of settled me a little bit. I hit it in the next fairway on the fourth hole. I hit it right in the middle of the fairway. Good tee ball. And then I hit a really good wedge, hit right next to the hole. It was about 3 feet short, really straight uphill putt. And I made that. And now I'm starting to I'm settling in a little bit, getting in the round. I think I was playing with Webb Simpson, and I remember his caddy coming up, chatting a little bit, and kind of feeling like it was a normal round again, and the comfortability started to get a little bit better.
Right.
And then that fifth hole, it was a shorter hole. You could hit like a 4-iron, 3-iron to kind of place it out into the fairway, and then you could hit a wedge in. I think I hit a wedge back the top of the green. The green was sloped back to front, and I was all the way on the back fringe. Maybe just on the green, I can't remember, but I knew it was a really fast putt, one that you're just trying to just kind of trickle down there and have good speed. If it goes in, great. If not, tap in and get
right.
I tapped that thing down there, and it went right in the middle, and then it settled me even more, and then it was just like, okay, let's go. I'm doing this. I birdied 3 out of the first 5 holes in that stage. So now you're starting.
Where were you at?
Your mindset changes. You're starting to say, hey, I can do this versus wondering if you can do it, So then the whole thing in your stomach, that knot starts to loosen up a little bit, know, and then.
Do you remember where you were at? Like you were leading at that point
I
too,
think
right?
I took the lead at that point.
You took the lead.
I think I got the lead after. I think Webb had a 2-shot lead to start the day.
Okay.
And I think at that point, I don't know if he made a birdie in between in those holes, but I think I had taken the lead after that, and had a 1-shot lead going up the 6th hole.
Okay.
And then again, I made a great. I didn't hit a bad tee shot, but I pulled it just in the rough a little bit over on the left. I didn't really have an access to get into the green because of the way it's shaped, and I left it up on the fringe. I actually had a pretty good shot, and I was happy about where I left, but I left myself like 60, 70 feet, and then I left that like.
But for birdie.
Yeah.
Just wants to keep that left shoulder low. Allow the putter face to stay square or longer there coming through the fringe. Said he's been really struggling getting the speed of the greens. He's left a lot.
I left that one short and left about 7-8 feet. You know, again, now I got another tester testing the.
So now that
Testing your
creeps back in and going like, oh, okay, maybe you are, like maybe you're not set. Yeah,
absolutely. You know, am I ready for this or am I not? Is this going to be the start of the bogey train where I kind of unfold because I got myself all the way up there and then so made it, you know, and then it was
made the 7-footer,
and I made the 7-footer for par, and kind of kept going and great. Went to the next hole, hit a great tee shot again.
Fairway wood. That'll work.
Yeah, nice lazy. Oh my goodness, he belted that one, David, out there.
That was when I really kind of settled in and felt like, okay, I think I can handle this. I can do this, you know. And everything was starting to settle a little bit for me, you know, at that point.
So you make the turn at what? You make the turn. Do you remember if
yeah,
you were?
I think I was leading at the turn.
Okay.
And
did Ryan start to say anything to you?
No,
Nothing changed.
We were having fun. It was new for him too. You know,
right.
He hadn't been caddying for me that long.
Sure.
You know, so the stages of him being on the camera too, I'm sure he was a little bit uncomfortable.
Right.
You know, but him trying to make me as comfortable as possible. You know, we're knocking, we're having fun, we're smiling. You know, we're telling jokes in between, we're laughing, we're looking at the crowd like we normally do, and and having fun. But you know, it was a big stage. It was fun. I'll never forget it. You know, obviously, I mean, I would say it's one of the best finishes I've had. It's one of the funnest tournaments I've played because of being in that spot where you hadn't been and testing yourself and having success. I mean, I shot 67, I was 5 under. I mean, I remember coming down the last couple of holes, you know, and we talk about it all the time because I didn't win the golf tournament.
Yeah.
You know, but I remember, you know, on the 16th hole, I remember this. I had a wedge and I think I was just in the first cut of rough.
Big chance for another birdie as we go back to 16.
Our leader, Troy Kelly, out of the left rough.
Yeah, just a sand wedge, but a horrible lie. Oh, and that is...
I just kind of hit one little blocky wedge, and I was over on the right. And I was mad that I hit it because it wasn't that hard of a shot. Right?
And that is going to be a difficult.
You know, I remember hitting a good little pitch up there, and I wasn't chipping very good at the time when I was first out there on tour, and I remember rolling it by about 6, 7, 8 feet.
Know where you are. Back to 16.
Well, this is the first player we've seen down here today.
Oh, it needs to bite.
And he got that a little clunky, David. Caught a little heavy and then got the leading edge on the bottom.
Right. And I remember going over to my brother and I said, I'm burying this. I remember
sometimes that's what you got to do, yeah.
I said, burying
Just
this. And I knocked him, you know, and I walked over, boom, made it.
Did I say the last putt was the biggest putt of the tournament? Can I move it to this green as well? Fast forward it, one more hole, one more green.
Well, he's got more holes to play than anybody left, so he's got a little bit to play with should he miss it. For the week, 11 for 11, under 10 feet. Excuse me, today. Make that 12 for 12 today, inside of 10 feet for Troy Kelly.
So then I go to the 17th tee.
17.
Wow, this is an exciting finish. Par 5 here at 17, and then the par 3 finishing hole. Troy Kelly with driver. Water all the way up the right side. Just a fraction to the left would be great.
Excellent. Right, and I think I got a 2-shot lead at that point.
Right.
Knowing what I know and seeing the reader boards that I could see, and I remember hit it in the fairway, you know, off the tee ball. It was that par 5. It was like 600 yards. I remember, you know, really hard to access in 2 shots.
Yeah.
And I remember hitting my second shot up there.
Okay. Then go where you weren't thinking. Just 2 pulls in. Yep.
We waited a little bit because I actually decided to go for the green. I think I was like 250. You know, maybe even further than that to the pin. But I remember hitting like an iron that could only carry 230, something that was going to stay short because the pin was in the back, and if you get over pin high, it's kind of a hard chip. Yeah, the greens are kind of mounted in bold, short fairway cut style back there, and I remember I think I hit 3 or 4 iron, and it was hybrid at that time. And I remember it got up almost pin high. It hit, bounced over, whatever bunker and knoll that was over there, and got almost pin high. And now I was stuck with a tough chip. But I remember walking up the fairway, going back. I remember walking up to that shot, and I remember there was a leaderboard right over to the right. And I remember walking to the green, I told Ryan, I said, I think we're going to have a 2-shot lead when we get up here, And then when I got to that leaderboard, it said T1.
Oh, yes!
Oh,
T1.
Tied for first.
And I'm like, holy crap! And I'm seeing Potter, right? And I'm like, I haven't seen his name all
And you
day.
played like you knew him too, right?
Oh, yeah,
like,
I knew him. Yeah, I knew him. But I just remember going, God dang, what did he do?
And Ted Potter from 25 feet for eagle. Moved
Coming down the stretch, and obviously I got to go back and watch the coverage down the stretch and saw what he did. He made some putts. He made a great up and down. I think there's only been one other finish besides him that has finished, 4 under the last 3 holes.
This is the finish that got him to the playoff at the 15th. Look at this, Nick.
Yeah, well, now
forgot about this one.
Yeah, I forgot about this one. This is only about the second putt made from any distance on 15, and then a fabulous second shot from something like 293, threaded it through the 2 bunkers at the front of the green and slammed.
Stood over that putt for a long time and then just absolutely swished it. He got to 18, right over the knoll, close.
Right. Either tie or get into a playoff type thing. And so I remember thinking that after watching it, going, God dang, that's a hell of a finish. But I wish
you were on the other side of it.
I was
right?
on the other side of it. But like I said, it was still at that moment. It was a great feeling knowing that I was having a chance with 1 or 2. I mean, if I birdie the last hole, I can win still. So not thinking, hey, I'm tied. I'm thinking, hey, I want to birdie that last hole. And I remember pitching that ball up there on 17, just pin high, and I didn't get too aggressive because those greens were elevated just by a little 3-foot deal in the back.
Right.
If you chip it and it sidewinds across it, you could roll it down off the side. So I kind of pitched a little 7-iron, bumping it over. I wasn't that far away from the green, but there was short cut from where I had to pitch it. I only had to pitch it a little ways, and I just kind of pitched and ran. I just hoping the green would ride it over the right. It didn't ride it over the right very much, and then 2-putted that.
or even a wedge for him. Just to the right, doesn't come back. Just 2 feet. Straight in. Good acceleration through, well done.
And I remember getting to 18 knowing that I needed to make birdie, and it's that green on 18 had that big tier in the middle, and the pin was kind of back right, and I hit a good pitching wedge. In regulation play, where I just hit it back there. It landed just on the downside of the little knoll that's in the middle of that green. It shot back there about 20-25 feet. And I remember just thinking, God, I got a putt to win a golf tournament out here. And I thought it was cool. And I was accepting that was okay. I wasn't mad that Ted Potter had done what he did. I was accepting that I had an opportunity to win a golf tournament. I have a putt to win it, because you dream about that as a kid.
That's exactly what
you're
you're
practicing for, is for that moment. And to make a 25-footer, obviously you don't make a ton of 25-footers, but I had a chance to win the golf tournament. And I remember brushing it by about 2.5, 3 feet.
Been good with their routine. Let's see this for the victory. Steady Eddie, easy. Holy, whoa.
You had kind of a teaser coming back, too.
Yeah, I mean, I had to make a putt coming back. It wasn't like, hey, I'm just going to, here, and we're in, let's go play off. I had to actually make it to go.
Do I have time to order one? Right, this to send it back to the 18th tee for a playoff. There you go. Well done. Don't go anywhere.
So it looked like it could go in halfway down there, 3/4 of the way, and then it just kind of peeled off a little bit. But I gave it a chance. I remember looking back going, God, you know what? I gave that putt a chance.
under par. Back to the tee at 18. Both players trying to battle nerves and inexperience. They take par at the par 3 finishing hole, so now it's on to the second hole of sudden death. The par 5 17th, and that's a solid play from the front of the green for Potter Jr. That was his third. After trouble in that pot bunker, Troy Kelly needs this for his 5. An unbelievable putt from Kelly. He has his 5, so he's forcing Potter to make his 4. And he misses on the left side, just wraps around the cup. Couldn't believe it. That was from inside of 5 feet. So the third extra hole, back to 18. Kelly on the left side and in front of that hump that splits this green. So it's Potter's chance to take control, and that's exactly what he does. What a beautiful tee shot at 18, the third extra hole. So now Kelly to see if he can apply the same type of pressure that he did on the second hole of sudden death. And that he leaves just a couple of feet away, so it looks like a 3 is in for Kelly, this to win it. And this time, Potter doesn't miss. From inside of 5 feet, he holds the birdie putt and wins his first PGA Tour event. The champion.